What would you do if you run completely out of cash? What would you do if you want to cut a dash? Polish up the shoes, throw on something fine. We don't talk about diesels, we're living in style this time. Cruising down the boulevard, wheels gleam in the night. Beige leather interior, looking chic alright. Money's a little tight, but I'm still making moves. Fake it like a pro, no budget reviews. Blues, what do you mean I'm not getting paid for this?
Renault. Des voitures à vivre. So here we are, viewers, a 1989 Renault 21 1.2 GTS Special. Yes, I say special, but not the accent actually on the car, so I can't say spécial, which it would have been actually in France, but this was a UK only special edition right at the end of pre-facelift production. Facelift occurred, I think, April 89. I should shut that door, shouldn't I? And before you all say it, yes, Ian Seabrook from the Hubnut channel drove a Renault 21 1.7 GTS Symphony a few years ago. You can stop typing now because I know. Anyway, Renault 21 was actually quite a popular car back in the day. They're extinct now, really. And this one was bought for £1,000 with an MOT. So we are within no budget reviews territory. What happened with said MOT, I don't know, because this car's had to have a considerable amount of work since then, but never mind. You can see it's a very typical sort of 1980s design, and it was actually designed by Giugiaro. That's something actually Ian Seabrook got wrong in his video. He said Bertone, no, it's Giugiaro. The other thing is, there was a video back in 1989 with Chris Goffey, who was doing a piece on Top Gear on the facelifted car and also the Renault 19 Chamard, and he said these came out October 86 in this country. That's also not true. They came out sort of June, July 86, because I've actually got a piece of paper here, which is what the press was saying about it at the time, and you can see and hear that a lot of the things in here are from, here we go, like June 86, April 86, that kind of stuff. So that's not true either. So we aim to put things right. The car was launched, first of all, as a saloon, and then the estate, known as the Nevada in many places, but actually known in this country as the Savannah. Why they had to have different names, I don't know. Open up the boot. Very, very big boot in this. As Chris Goffey points out in a sort of infomercial type thing, a video cassette you would have been given at a dealer when the car was launched in 86, if you think you're buying one, the boot actually does have a nice wide opening in it. Have a look to see if we've got anything under here. Yes, a nice full-size spare. Brilliant. The GTS Special actually had a few more things than the standard GTS, and one of the main things in this car is power steering, which the GTS Symphony doesn't have. This has power steering, and a lot of the 1.7 21s do not have power steering, as Ian Seabrook found out when he took that for a test drive a few years ago. I'm very glad it does, viewers, because this would be quite heavy without it. Very strange car, in that the 1.7 and 2 litre models, as pointed out, I think on the Grand Tour and other places, they have completely different engine configurations. This is a transverse engine. The 2 litre and in some markets the 2.2 had a longitudinal engine because for some reason Renault didn't have a gearbox which would actually cope with the power, I think, from the 2 litre engine or the 2.2 if it was mounted transversely, so they had to actually mount it longitudinally, which made it a bit more like, I don't know, like an Audi 80 or something like that at the time, which would have been like that. The Special has other stuff as well. We've got these natty fog lights, we've got the higher spec steering wheel in this, we've got electric windows. We haven't got alloy wheels, which is a bit of a pain. The RS model, when the car was launched, would have had alloy wheels, which would have been nice, but it doesn't have it. Very, very commodious car as well. Loads and loads of space. The door cards aren't in the best condition. They're all saggy, ones in the front are worse. We've got windy windows in the back. Fortunately, we don't have windy windows in the front. That's why I'm happy, viewers. There we go. Little tiny ashtray for your G10. No map pockets, which is a bit mean, really, because this is reasonably well equipped for one of these, actually. Nice squishy seat fabric. Oh, it's very soft, viewers. And then we've got squishy armrest. It's just lean on that. It's good. Now, personally, I prefer a 21 Monaco because they were top of the range and they had leather interior, but we've got the high-spec steering, which wasn't fitted to most of the 1.7s. They would have a 2-spoke steering wheel like the one in the 21 Symphony. This has the lovely 3-spoke, which is more common on things like the 2 litres. Very, very airy. We're not touching the sunroof today, viewers. We do not touch sunroofs in old cars, as many of you know, because we don't want to get that stuck open, which would be bad. Interesting arrangement here for the grab handles. Ooh, do that again. Ooh. Okay. It's very nice in the back of you. Obviously, if you have the Savannah, you've got 7 seats. I remember when I was a child, one of my mother's friends had a 21 Savannah for his family, and we sometimes go in there. They are massive, those things. Very rare to have a 7-seater estate these days. I think in some ways it was bigger than my mother's Volvo 240 estate, also a 7-seater. Anyway, interesting, weird sort of way that this door handle is, and windy windows. No windy window. Just leave that alone, viewers. Remember some big sort of plastic door locks, because not all of these came with central locking. This one does, and you'd have to have pointed this infrared receiver up here, up that console there, in order to lock it. Very early remote central locking wasn't like it is now. You just, I don't know, like point it wherever. You've got to point it at that particular receiver there. There's something else about this car which is not good, which I will come to later from a security point of view. But let's allow us to sit in the front, shall we? Look, these door handles with the lock integrated like that. So tiny bits of rust on the outside. Most of the rust was underneath, and that's been dealt with now. One thing we have to point out here is this amazing, for the time, steering wheel stereo controls, which were first introduced in the, I think, the Renault 9 in 1982, I think, in this country. The choke lever is there, integrated into the dash nicely. Front fog lamps in this particular one, we have a special. Yes, do not ever leave the windows or sunroof open on this, because on the dash here, that's the door locking button. So do not ever do that, because somebody might take your 21. You've got this amazing compartment here for, I don't know what you put in there, but it's massive. Is that the ashtray? Because that's here. So I don't know what you put in there. There's also a slot in there that looks like it takes a second stereo, because here's the stereo up here. This is the original stereo for the car. It's, I think, similar to one for the Symphony model. But there's also one down here. I think you could, that's probably a normal space where you expect a stereo to be for an 80s car, like my Nissan Sunny, which was also an 89. The stereo is down there. Big sort of space here for putting whatever you want. I mean, it's much bigger than the old sort of gun holder I used to have in my SsangYong Tivoli. You fit loads of different things on there if you want to. Now, the glove box, I don't think we're getting missing commission documents in there, unless I'll try later, but it sort of goes down like that. It's quite big, actually. Door pockets are very big. We've got some items in there for demonstration purposes. It's some of my lunch. And the stalks are weird, so we've got a horrible noise if I do this. Oh, no! Whoo! That's not good, viewers. Don't leave the door open if you turn the lights on. So we've got the indicator and horn on this side with the lights, and then the wiper stalk looks completely different. I don't know where the rear wash light would be if we have the Savannah, I'm not sure. But yeah, nice 3-spoke steering wheel. And the controls are here. So unlike a lot of cars, which have sort of, the dashboard would be quite low and these controls would be further down. This one's nice and high, a bit like a Volvo 240 actually, which also has a nice high frequency stereo, which is good. Yeah, there's the controls for the, got the map light there. Work, there we go, map light works. Normal light, there we go. Leave it on that one. That'll do. Excellent. And then the electric sunroof, we're not touching. Do we have any mirrors? Nope. vanity mirror for the ladies or gentlemen if you are vain. And then, are those high adjustable seat belts? No, shame. Then lots of blanking plates, because actually quite a few of these cars didn't have electric windows at all. This one's got front ones, but not rear ones. It presumably be here. I don't know what else you'd have down here, actually. Maybe heated seats on a really high spec one. Got a lever here for seat adjustment. Very comfortable seats. Yeah. I suppose you better take a look under the bonnet view. That's what we'll do. Have a go about, shall we? And it kind of looks like you could just leave the bonnet up like that. It opens this way like on a Super Stank. Super Stanks came out of this country in '85, so very much two cars of their time. Unlike the Super Stank though, we have an engine which could be mounted transversely in this one, or it could be mounted longitudinally like it with a 2 litre, the Duvlin engines, a 2 litre 2.2. And so there's plenty of room to work on this. I mean, cam belt cover is just there. Look at all this space down here, which is just not used on the transverse models. There's the oil filter just down there. Gearbox is here. Simplicity itself. So we've got I think a carb on this with a manual choke and about 90 horsepower for this 1.7 F-type engine. You could get, I think it was called the TS or TL model, with about 75 horsepower as well. This car has had considerable work done to it in terms of making things better. We've had these towers have done, we've had this bit at the front done. You can see this car is slightly different colour, it's just been painted. Yeah. It all looks pretty simple. Like if you actually could find one of these, and they're pretty rare, again more sort of welding done over there, you could find one of these cars. Actually it might be quite a practical car to just work on your own, particularly this configuration here with the transverse engine. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough about that, viewers. Let's take this lovely old car out for a spin. Excellent. I must say thank you to Richard and Brian from the NA Turbo channel for letting me have a go in Brian's car. They've got lots and lots of other cars actually, and I recommend the channel for looking at all kinds of weird stuff, including the Laguna that I drove last year. Oh, there's a gear. Very early Laguna that they've got in 1994. Unfortunately that one seems to have developed some problems with the cells, so it's not on the road at the moment, but there we go. The gearbox on this car is not very nice at all. It's really sort of rubbery, and the gear lever's not in a great place either, which is a bit of a shame. Many years ago I was on a French exchange in Versailles, and the mother of my exchange partner actually had one of these. It was a 1990 saloon, and what used to happen is he used to go out to their sort of house in the country. There was a very deserted road which was similar to this, where he was I think 16, and he used to drive around without any license or insurance or anything on the road, and he said I could have a go, and I just said well, I don't fancy it, thank you very much, not having license or insurance. So it could have been one of the first cars I ever drove actually. I didn't start driving a little bit later than that. But yes, these cars were discontinued in early '94 for the saloon and the hatch, and then 1995 for the Savannah, because the estate didn't come out from Laguna until a bit later on. This one has the 90 horsepower 1.7 F-type engine, transversely mounted with 90 horsepower. You could get a 75 brake horsepower version, I think in the TS or TL, I can never remember, it was a base model. This one's got lovely power steering. Above that you could get the 2 litre at launch, which only came with 120 horsepower. The 12 valve version of that engine was introduced in 1989 with the facelift, and it had 140 horsepower. In some of the markets, both the 8 valve and the 12 valve had completely different power outputs. For some reason in this country we were 120 and 140. If you want to go really crazy, you go for the turbo, which had 173 horsepower, and with the Quadra version
you could get all-wheel drive. It was also available in the TXI trim with the 140 horsepower 2-litre engine. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. So, nice light steering with power assistance in this GTS Special. Gearbox, I've said, is not the nicest I've ever used, but it's okay. This car's only done about 80,000 miles, which is remarkable for something 1989. Brakes feel good. The pedals are in a really strange position, actually. They're very far over to the left-hand side, and the accelerator is not where you expect it to be at all. Long distance comfort, I'm not entirely sure this would be the best, because my feet just feel like they're in the wrong place. Maybe on a left-hand drive car it'd be better. So yeah, just sort of humming nicely through this little version of Bedfordshire. Despite having only 90 horsepower, the engine feels very, very willing. I used to have a more powerful version of this engine, 102 horsepower, in my Volvo 460 I used to have. And it seems very, very willing. Only an 8-valve engine, of course. We'll take it actually on the bypass up here and we'll see if it goes nice and fast. 0 to 60 of this car is apparently 10.5 seconds. It feels a lot more engaging than I thought it would, actually. I thought it would be very, very soft in every way. It's a bit better than that, actually. So up we go, let's see how it is. Yeah, nice and willing, isn't it? Of course, I have French family, and my grandfather's cousin loved Renault when he was still around. He had an 11 Turbo when I first went over to France to see him in 1991. We loved that car. I remember on the auto routes it go crazy, crazy fast, which I can't do today, but I'm still going to try anyway. And make it sing like Monsieur Poulain would have done. He had the 11 Turbo, and then he used to have Clios, and he used to quite like Volvo 440s as well. He had a few of those, always turbos. Let's go around this roundabout to see if it leans a lot, which it probably will, to be honest. Oh, it's not too bad, actually. It's not too bad at all. It's not quite as taut like an MG Montego, but it's not bad. Actually better than I expected, really. Right, more acceleration, viewers. Yes! Yes! Vive la France! Oh, viewers. I quite like this, viewers. I want a Monaco, because I need a leather interior in my Renault 21. But this is extraordinary. I can see why Ryan has spent so much money having this car done up properly and fixed a lot of the cosmetic and suspension issues where somebody had welded the subframe together, which was not ideal, I wouldn't have thought. What an amazing car! I want one! Let's look at some trim levels for Renault 21, viewers. There were quite a few of them, actually. The TL, the GTS, the GTS Special, like this one, the GTS Symphony we've talked about. The RS was the highest trim level for the 1.7 when it came out in 1986, and it got this 3-spoke steering wheel as well as a close ratio gearbox. The Monaco, which is the best of all of them. The GTX. The RX, the TI, the TXE, the TXI, which is the only one which came with the 140 horsepower engine. The Quadra and Quadra Turbo, and the TS. The TXI also did come with Quadra 4-wheel drive if you wanted. There's also the question of where this car was made. It's in a lot more places than you think, actually. Obviously made in France and Turkey and Colombia and Argentina and Chile and Taiwan and Belgium and Iran and Venezuela. The Renault 21 was also sold in modified form as the Eagle Medallion or Renault Medallion by first AMC and then Eagle in the United States between, I think, 87 and 89. It didn't last very long. Looks a bit different from one of these, though. So, viewers, should you consider a Renault 21 for your hard-earned budget up to £1,000? I don't know, really. Like, you're not going to get a great one for that sort of money. You can find one. They're very, very rare cars, these. They just don't see them anymore. But I quite like them. Also, I've got this Renault 21 Special edition brochure here, which tells me all about various things, which is nice. And there's more to life with Renault, which I'm sure that there is. Anyway, thank you ever so much once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for some more inexpensive motoring.